What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Tom Spotlight. We're kicking things off with a huge story rocking the entertainment world. Over 1,300 filmmakers, actors, and industry heavyweights, including titans like Ava DuVernay, Yorgos Lanthimos, and Mark Ruffalo, have signed a powerful pledge to boycott Israeli film institutions. This isn't just a statement. It's a movement demanding an end to complicity in what they're calling genocide and apartheid against the Palestinian people. We're diving deep into who's involved and what this means for the future of film. Next up, we're talking about the critically acclaimed new HBO series, Task, starring none other than Mark Ruffalo. This gritty crime drama, crafted by Brad and Gillespie, takes us deep into the heart of Philadelphia, exploring the complex lives of FBI agents and the criminals they hunt. Get ready for a look at broken characters, high-stakes heists, and a tribute to the city of brotherly love that's sparking some serious debate. And the buzz continues with more major names joining that significant boycott. We're talking about Hollywood A-listers like Olivia Colman, Io Edebiri, and Javier Bardem lending their voices and their careers to this impactful protest. What's driving this unprecedented stand, and how are these artists using their platform to call for justice? We've got all the details you need to know. Finally, we're circling back to that incredible list of talent standing up for what they believe in. From Susan Sarandon to Riz Ahmed, the sheer volume of support is staggering. We'll break down the demands, the inspiration behind this movement, and what it signifies for global cinema. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and ring the bell for all the breaking news. Hollywood's conscience speaks, a mass boycott erupts. In a seismic move shaking the foundations of the film industry, over 1,300 filmmakers, actors, and industry professionals have collectively pledged to boycott Israeli film institutions. Spearheaded by the advocacy group Film Workers for Palestine, this unprecedented action is a bold declaration against what signatories describe as complicity in genocide and apartheid against the Palestinian people. The movement cites the International Court of Justice's ruling on the plausible risk of genocide in Gaza and demands an end to the industry's perceived silence and enablement. The pledge, inspired by the 1987 Filmmakers United Against Apartheid movement, calls for a refusal to screen films, appear at, or work with Israeli festivals, cinemas, broadcasters, and production companies implicated in these alleged actions. High-profile names like Ava DuVernay, Yorgos Lanthimos, Mark Ruffalo, Olivia Colman, Io Edebiri, Javier Bardem, Riz Ahmed, Tilda Swinton, and Susan Sarandon are among the prominent signatories. The open letter from Film Workers for Palestine emphasizes the power of cinema in shaping perceptions and asserts a moral duty to speak out against the harm inflicted upon the Palestinian people, urging the international film industry to reject silence and complicity. The response has been swift and divided, with discussions intensifying online about artistic responsibility and the role of the entertainment industry in geopolitical issues. Analysts are closely watching the potential impact on international film festivals and collaborations, while audiences are weighing in on the ethical considerations of supporting certain productions. This collective action represents a significant moment, highlighting the growing intersection of activism and the global art scene. Don't tune out yet, because the drama is just heating up. Next, we're heading to the gritty streets of Philadelphia with Mark Ruffalo in the compelling new HBO series, Task. Philly Grit, Mark Ruffalo stars in HBO's intense new drama, Task. Get ready for a deep dive into the complex world of crime and consequence with HBO's latest offering, Task. Crafted by Brad and Gillespie, the mastermind behind Mayor of Easttown, this gripping series centers on Philadelphia-based FBI agent Tom, played by the phenomenal Mark Ruffalo. The show plunges into the lives of investigators grappling with personal crises while hunting down a dangerous crew involved in a string of violent robberies. Tom, seemingly a dedicated agent and loving father, is reeling from a family crisis, specifically his son Ethan's institutionalization. Pulled back into active duty by his boss, Kathleen, Tom must lead a new task force. His team includes the sharp but pressure-prone state trooper Lizzie, the devout Catholic detective Anthony, and a survivor of domestic violence. They're on the trail of a crew moonlighting as garbage men who are robbing a local motorcycle gang, the Dark Hearts. A situation complicated by Robbie, the man behind the heists, who has a personal vendetta against the gang and is also acting as a guardian to his late brother's children. The series explores the intricate web of broken characters whose professional lives become their anchors, set against the authentic backdrop of working-class towns in Delaware County. Fans and critics are already buzzing about the series' raw portrayal of flawed characters and its authentic depiction of the Philadelphia region's ethos. While some debate the nuances of its geographic authenticity, the performances, particularly from Ruffalo, Jones, and Thuso Mbedu, are being hailed as standout. The show's exploration of moral ambiguity and the human drive for redemption in the face of personal turmoil has resonated deeply with viewers, sparking conversations about the nature of justice and the meaning of family. But the story doesn't end with gritty realism. It extends to the powerful voices within Hollywood. We'll reveal which other major stars are joining the call for change. Hollywood's power players unite. More stars join film Boycott. The wave of protest from the film industry is gaining serious momentum as even more A-list talent throws their support behind the boycott of Israeli film institutions. This growing movement, spearheaded by Filmworkers for Palestine, is making it clear that silence is no longer an option for artists concerned about global justice. Joining the already impressive roster of signatories like Ava DuVernay and Mark Ruffalo are celebrated actors such as Olivia Colman, Io Edebiri, Javier Bardem, and Riz Ahmed. The pledge, signed by over 1,300 professionals, targets film institutions implicated in genocide and apartheid against the Palestinian people. This isn't just about individual actors. It's a collective stand inspired by historical movements, aiming to leverage the influence of cinema to advocate for human rights. The core message is clear. Filmmakers and actors are using their professional power to refuse complicity in what they deem an ongoing human rights crisis, drawing parallels to past boycotts against apartheid South Africa. The impact is already being felt, with industry watchers speculating on how this unified front will influence international film festivals, distribution deals, and future co-productions. Audiences are keenly following the developments, with social media abuzz over the ethical implications and the courage of these artists in taking such a public stance. This collective action is a potent reminder of the entertainment world's capacity to engage with pressing global issues. From powerful protests to gripping dramas, we've covered a lot of ground. But there's one more major development in the world of film you won't want to miss. A global stand. Olivia Colman and 1,300-plus film professionals boycott Israeli institutions. In a powerful display of solidarity, a significant portion of the international film community, including acclaimed actors Olivia Colman, Javier Bardem, and Amy Lou Wood, have signed a pledge to boycott Israeli film institutions. This widespread commitment, announced by Filmworkers for Palestine, involves over 1,300 filmmakers and creatives who are taking a stand against what they describe as institutions implicated in genocide and apartheid against the Palestinian people. The pledge, echoing the sentiments of historical boycotts against apartheid South Africa, outlines a refusal to engage with Israeli film festivals, cinemas, broadcasters, and production companies that are perceived as complicit. The signatories, which also include industry heavyweights like Susan Sarandon, Mark Ruffalo, Riz Ahmed, and Tilda Swinton, emphasize the moral imperative to speak out against the ongoing crisis in Gaza, citing the International Court of Justice's findings on the plausible risk of genocide. They are determined to use the power of cinema not to be silent, but to actively resist what they see as an ongoing horror and oppression. The implications of this mass pledge are far-reaching, sparking widespread debate within the industry and among the public about artistic integrity, political activism, and the responsibility of global institutions. The signatories stress that the boycott targets institutions, not individuals, aiming to dismantle systemic complicity rather than alienate people. This movement highlights a growing trend of artists using their platforms to address critical social and political issues on a global scale. And that brings us to the end of our news roundup. But before you go, we've got a quick recap of today's top stories and a very important call to action. What a packed show! We saw over 1,300 filmmakers, including stars like Ava DuVernay and Mark Ruffalo, pledge a boycott of Israeli film institutions. Then we dove into HBO's new Philly crime drama, Task, starring Mark Ruffalo, exploring its gritty realism and performances. We also highlighted more major stars like Olivia Colman and Javier Bardem joining that powerful industry boycott. And finally, we revisited the massive support for the pledge, underscoring the global call for justice from the film world. Don't forget to smash that like button if you found this info valuable, subscribe to Tom's Spotlight for more daily updates, ring that notification bell so you're alerted the second we post, and drop a comment below telling us your thoughts on today's headlines. You can also follow us on all our social media channels. Links are in the description. We'll see you in the next one.